Good morning. It's Thursday. Time for another drive to work and another chat about Mage. Continuing on the traditions, we've covered the Akashic Brotherhood. We've covered the Virtual Adepts in quite a bit of depth. Today we're going to cover the Celestial Chorus. Now, I won't be covering these guys in the same depth as I did the history of the Virtual Adepts. Quite honestly, because it's been a few years since I read it, and I wouldn't trust myself to recite it all correctly. But we will talk about kind of who they are, who they are seen as, and excuse me, and a couple examples of some very recent characters that might surprisingly fit the bill. So, the Celestial Chorus. These are normally viewed as pious believers in some form of divine power. Now, for most people that play the game, this almost always seems to take the form of the Catholic priest. Why that is, I don't know, but it's not restricted to any specific religion. It's usually restricted to one of the religions that has a single god deity. Most of your kind of more pantheistic, druidic type nature, whatever, or things like that tend to fall either under the Dream Speakers or the Verbena, which I'll cover later on. But Judaism, Christianity, Catholicism, Buddhism and Taoism would probably fall under the Akashics mostly. But I mean, yeah, there are quite a few religions that do fit the bill here. Although there's nothing wrong with if you think Christian or Catholic priest, you're not far off the idea. And I think that actually kind of will cover both of the examples I'm going to talk about shortly. But these guys, they are all believers in some form of faith. And they all believe in that higher power, and that gives them a very serene outlook on life, for the most part. They believe that everything is going to work out. These guys hold the seat of Prime in the 9 conventions, 9 traditions, if I can get my head out of the technocracy game for a minute. As I've mentioned before, the 9 traditions, 9 seats, 1 for each sphere of magic. And the Celestial Chorus represent Prime, pure magic. Now then, the examples that I want to get into. And these could be controversial, I don't know, maybe? Maybe not? Who knows? We'll find out. The first one, John Constantine. Now, he's had a popular Netflix, Amazon, I can't remember which shows are on which anymore. He's had a popular web series in the last few years. It's ended now, but it was very good. If you've never watched it, go watch it. I can't say the same thing about the Keanu Reeves movie version. Don't watch that. If you haven't watched that, don't watch that. But John Constantine. Now, he doesn't seem, at first glance, as the pious believer type. But he knows 100% without a doubt that there is a God, there are angels, there are demons, there is the devil. He believes that 100% without any issues whatsoever. And he's become jaded by it, yes, that's true. But it has not dulled the fact that he believes. He feels that he is damned for his previous actions, and he's trying to make up for them somehow. Which is part of where all of his cynicism comes in. But that doesn't actually that doesn't actually matter as far as him being Celestial Chorus, because the only reason he has become so bitter is because he does believe that strongly, and he knows how badly he messed up. So, he's a perfect example of a Celestial Chorus. He performs exorcisms, he uses magic. Now, he does dabble in some of the stuff that he's not supposed to dabble in. You could almost kind of play off a slight nephandic element to that there. But nevertheless, whether you argue he's been slightly corrupted or not, he would be a Celestial Chorus. Now, Celestial Chorus, bear in mind that they don't just use prime magic. Almost all mages have more than one focus. Their primary one is prime, but they also do a lot of work with life magic, both to heal and to harm, but to affect life, and then also with spirit magic. Obviously, that's going to fit in with all of this as well. The other one that I'm going to now talk about is, at first glance, probably a more direct association, but is also kind of a very dark and bitter character, which, strangely enough, is again fitting. And that is Jesse from the recent Preacher series that's still ongoing. If you look at him, I mean, he is a priest, but he's also not necessarily the best person. But he has been given a power. And he does believe wholeheartedly in this power. He knows it to be real. He believes in God and the devil and angels and demons, and he's met most of them and fought most of them. But he, again, has the power of this voice to be able to command others. So again, a very good example of a Celestial Chorus. I suppose, yes, you definitely are allowed to build a Celestial Chorus that's not bitter, or angry, or, any of those things, but it seems modern media doesn't necessarily go for those much. So there you are. The Celestial Chorus, holders of the seat of prime, true believers, and a couple examples of them. Hopefully that made some sense, and I wasn't just rambling the entire time. I'm sure I was at least part of it. Anyway, like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if you've got any other examples of a Celestial Chorus in modern media. If you can find one that's not bitter or angry or drunk, I'd even be more excited to hear about those. So, until then, I will talk to you later. Before I go, last comment. Some of you may or may not know that YouTube is closing its quick editor as of, I believe, today. That does mean that I'll have to use my on my PC editor from now on. That means it may take a bit longer for videos to be uploaded. Maybe expect a day's delay now before these actually go up. We'll see. Depends on how I can get it all sorted. Have a great day.